here I will be covering how we can create an intersection automatically in a very quick way. I've got the model with all necessary parts to do the intersection. So I've got an existing corridor with two existing alignments as well. So the first alignment is road 2, and the second alignment is road 1. We have a corridor, we have an existing surface as well, e.g. And as you can see, it's like a kind of a T junction. So the intersection will form a T junction. And this point is obviously the intersection point between the two alignments, road 1 and road 2. Also, assemblies that forms the section of the corridor are already done and ready to use. So it's been used in the corridor already, and we'll be using them as well for the intersection. So to start the intersection, we from the home ribbon go to intersections and then create intersection. You will be asked to select intersection point, which the point I've described that shows intersection between the two alignments. And if I click on that point, you will be prompted with the create intersection wizard. It will start with the general group of input. The first input is the intersection name. It got automatically intersection and an automatic counter. I will change this to intersection 1. So just intersection -1. You can add a description if you want. For the intersection marker style, keep it as it is. Intersection marker layer, the same. Everything the same. But something important to point out, the intersection corridor type. You've got two options: primary road crown maintained or all crowns maintained. So this picture shows a preview of the two options. So the first option, where you have the main road has the crown continued, and the secondary road is impacted by that and change the crown to the edges of that primary road. But if I choose to maintain all crowns, you will see that all the crowns are intersect in the middle of the intersection. So I will select the first option and say next, which I'll go to the second group of input that concerns the geometry details. Next, you will go to the geometry details, the second group of inputs, and the first thing to define there is the intersecting alignments, which automatically been picked up by the software because we have defined the point of intersection. So it's got road 1, the first alignment, and road 2, which has profiles already defined there. But it's good to notice that priority column there, and you've got road 1 has a priority, a first priority, and road 2 has a second priority. So if you look in the drawing, road 1 is this one. So this is the primary road, and road 2 is the secondary road, which intersect, making the T junction. I will be covering as well the other part, which is the offset and curved returns. Keep this create or specify offset elements as checked in or selected. Then click on offset parameters. You will have the intersection offset parameters dialog box, and you can define there the offset alignment definition for the primary road and the secondary road, both left and right. You can, which you can see, it's been input automatically as 12 feet each. Also, there is an option to create a new offsets from start to end of center lines, but I don't need this at the moment, so I'll keep all the default values as it is and press OK. Next thing is to create curve return alignments. I'll keep that option selected and just click on the parameters, a dialog box will appear again, and you can see in the drawing the indication of what quadrant I'm working on in the intersection, so you can move from one to another so easily here. Say I will do some changes here to the radius of the curb return. So I will increase this from 25 to, let's say, 35 feet. Go next to the other quadrant, and I will change the value to 35 again. And then I will click OK. Now, for the offset and curb return profiles, I will keep this option selected. Go to lane slope parameters. Let's check what's there. And here you can define the lane slope, or it's been already defined by default as 2% for the left and right for the primary road and secondary roads. I will keep that as it is. For the profile, you can also define a different profile if there is a design, a specific design for that intersection. And let's say okay. The next parameters to define is the curb return profile. In the intersection curb return profile, the software done a default design there for the incoming lane and outgoing lane, the curb return profile. So I will accept that default values for now and say OK. I went back to the create intersection wizard. And if I click next, so the next group of input related to corridor regions will appear. And the first option is whether you need to create corridor in the intersection area as a new corridor, or to add to an existing corridor, which is the second option that I will choose, so it can connect that to the existing corridor already in the drawing. And for the surface to daylight, so it can use that surface to make the daylight, to make the slopes connect to the existing ground of that corridor, so it's existing ground. And now there is a definition I need to check, and check this default input for the assembly in each parameter in the corridor or each section type. So the first one, I'll keep it as it is. For primary road full section, I will change this to primary road full section 50 feet. Of course, all of these assemblies are defined, are already defined in the drawing, so I can select now, so easy between them. Primary road part section, the light left, I will select that as primary road through left. The same thing for the right through right, primary road. For the secondary road full section, I will select secondary road full section 40 feet. Then for the rest, I will keep it as it is. And yeah, I think now we are ready. But before, select assembly set to import. So it's a good idea to save this set so you can use it later. So if you click to save as a set and then give it a name. So for example, this is road 1, road 2, and say save, so you can literally use that so easy later, so you can import it rather than creating it from scratch. You can import that set later using the import tool from browse, and it will fill that table automatically. Now I finished, so I'll say I'll select create intersection and see the magic. Finally, the intersection has been created, and as we can see, the corridor is kind of linked. When I hover over the intersection, it highlights the whole corridor because we connected them to one corridor for the intersection and the alignments, the other roads as well. But as you can see, it's not continuous to reach out the other part of the corridor. So you could literally do that manually by moving the end of the corridor and connect them together. See how it's smoothly connected in a magical way, where the daylight is also capturing the levels of the existing ground from the edges, following that profile for that alignment. Other side as well, and you can see the point is just following the alignment, and when it's connected to the other part of the corridor, it will again automatically pick up the profile and the daylight to the existing ground. So now it looks really smooth, and how we have created an intersection in just few minutes, and typically this might take a few hours to do it in other ways. So it's a quick way. I hope you enjoyed this video, you learned something from it, and thank you for watching.